Hey YouTube, this is a Canon a-1 35mm film camera. I want to tell you a little bit about it before I go into this YouTube. So I found this on Yahoo auction for about $40, 40 US dollars, $5 shipping. It's pristine condition, but the seller said it had the infamous camera shutter squeak. So I'm gonna see if I can show you what it sounds like. If you hear that squeaking, that's not a healthy sounding shutter. So I'm gonna show you how to fix it. There's two ways in my research that you could fix this. One is to take off this front plate and then try to get a needle into the gear from the top, but the needle has to be curved in order to reach there, so that seemed a little difficult. The other way is to take off this bottom plate and then have a needle go in from the bottom to lubricate the gear. So I'm gonna do that because you know, I don't have a bent needle, and what I've seen is a really good YouTube, actually not a YouTube, but a really good website that I'm gonna put a link in the description here, that says if you take a little small tube and about 3 centimeters long to reach the gear. So I put a little tape at the 3 centimeter mark, and then they suggested that you don't use oil, not even like machine oil or sewing machine oil, but because that, you know, is not good for the the camera. So the suggestion was to use silicone spray, which I have some here. Okay, so so the tools you're gonna need are, you know, your silicone spray, your little spray tube with a little bit of tape at 3 centimeters, and then you need a very fine or a very fine screwdriver, a Phillips head, a cross type screwdriver to remove 2 screws from the bottom plate to get this inside. So you can tell I've taken the first screw out. Oh, right there. A little bit of downward pressure while you're turning counterclockwise, so you don't strip the screw. Keep a little bit of downward pressure until the screw comes out. Firm and gentle. There you go, second screw's out. So now the 2 screws are out. The bottom plate should just come off. Just lift straight up. Here we go. Wow. In order to get to the gear, you have to wind the shutter to get this piece to move to the left. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to wind it and move that to the left. You probably saw that, wind to the left. Most of the YouTubes I've seen, they don't really show that hole where you get the tube in so well, but I wonder if I could show that here. It's like right there. Right there. Okay. Let's give it a try. Okay, here it goes. I did a couple practice shots on the back of a coffee can. You can see I sprayed too much a couple of times, and I think I've gotten it down to spray just a little bit. Here it goes. And to say that to be gentle and not force the tube in. So I'm trying to do just that. Okay, it's about there. And I'm just gonna do a gentle shot. Okay. Hopefully that was good. Okay, so I've sprayed a little tiny bit of silicone spray into the shutter gear. I think it's a shutter dampening gear or mirror dampening gear right here. I've kept it held like this for 10 minutes to make sure the gear doesn't, this lubricant doesn't drip anywhere else. And I'm gonna put the battery in now and see if that squeaking is gone. I hear that sometimes you have to lubricate that mirror dampening gear a couple of times. Sometimes one time is enough. But again, very little lubricant. We don't want to over lubricate. So my battery's back in. Shutter's wound. It's on A, and let's just a little bit better. See if the squeak is gone. Squeak is still there. It's still there. Maybe a little bit more lubricant. Let's try that. One more drop. Okay. Okay. Testing the shutter. 1 second, which is good. I'm gonna try it 1/2 a second. Half a second. Okay. Gonna go up the 1/4 of a second. Eighth of a second. Still squeaking. 15th of a second. Still squeaking. Okay, one last try and then give up. That was good. That was good. I think cranking the shutter, releasing the shutter a couple times after lubrication definitely helps. You gotta work it, you gotta use it. Okay, I'm gonna go back down the gears to 1/1000th of a second, and I'm gonna come right back. Much better. I think that that was just a little bit more lubricant and a couple more shutter releases. I think I fixed it. Okay, I'm going to keep this upside down and close up the bottom case, bottom plate. A few days later. Hey, I'm back a few days later, and after lubricating the camera, the squeak still kept coming back, and what I read on one YouTube was just to let it sit for a couple days. So, a few days later, the sound has got much better. So, I think the advice is once you lubricate, what I've done is let the camera sit upside down, you know, and wait a few days and then test again without, again, not lubricating more, but just waiting. I did see some YouTubes that said you might have to lubricate it once in a while, so maybe lubricate maybe half a year from now, or every few months or something. So I hope you enjoyed the YouTube, and bye for now.